separating ourselves from this world and not get caught up in the temptations of it, you know. And part of the spiritual truth, once you receive it, the Hamashiach, the Holy Ghost, you know, you start to separate yourself because you become a new man. And that new man that you become, or you're becoming, it further separates you more and more from this world, man, where you don't fit in, you know. You don't mesh well with, you know, the people of this world, or the society. And I noticed, you know, in my life journey, you know, before I came into this truth, I know the Lord brought me out of the big city. Not really a big city, but it was, you know, good enough sized city. And through the Spirit, He landed me into a small community, real small, down south community. Not a whole lot of distractions, not a whole lot of things to go into. And that's probably about 15 years ago. And eventually, the things that I experienced during that time, it led me to the truth that I'm into today. And but I remember when I was going through my hardships and things that I was dealing with. You know, I got rid of my TV, you know, my internet, my cable. I got rid of my cable and still had an internet. And so that gave me more time to focus, you know. I was still working, you know, a certain job. But when I would come home, you know, it was just me and pretty much in those four walls, you know. And like I said, I'm in a kind of rural area. And it gave me a lot of time to reflect on things. You have to be careful to reflect because that's the time, like an idle mind is when the devil kind of stuff in it. You know, he can throw little things to try to deceive you. And once I found this truth, man, you know, it just kind of opened up doors for me, and you know, it gave me a purpose for one, you know. Especially, you know, when I came across GMS videos, you know, teaching us, you know, to do your research and do lessons and, you know, build upon that foundation, you know, that was set by Yahushua. And like I said, the more you get into it, the more you separate yourselves from the world, man. And Lord, I think He set me out there in that place, you know, for that purpose. And then I took up a job where I was driving trucks for a while across country, and I was, you know, got a chance to see a lot of things, to see Babylon and experience a few things. And then being in the truck, man, you're almost like you're like a pilgrim. So you're living outside of that truck, you know, out of that rig, you know. You learn how to wash, how to cook, how to maintain in a small environment. And I think all that kind of prepares us too, because it detaches you more from this world, you know. Because most Jakes, you know, you work your 9 to 5, you come home, you eat, you sleep, you know, watch a little TV or whatever you may do, and you know, you kind of get attachments. When you go out there and you travel, you know, every day you're moving, you know, in a vehicle, you know, you become more and more detached from the world, you know. And so you learn how to survive like a pilgrim, man. As, you know, you move from one place to the next. And I think all that, you know, the Lord kind of put me through that. Yahushua put me through that to prepare me for what's to come. Like the brother was saying in this video, you know, when all hell hit the fan, or shit hits the fan, as they like to note it, you know, we can't be attached to these personal things here in the world, man. You know, to these material things in this world, that house, that car, those, you know, you might have some family members, or you might have even some pets and stuff like that, you know, things that, you know, that might kind of bound you to one place. So when shit hits the fan, you might just get up and go. And I know in the prepping community they have what they call like a bug out bag, a bag prepared to go if you need to go. And so we might be as pilgrims upon earth, man. Like in the book of Eli. Denzel Washington in that book. So when all hell breaks loose, you talk about the time of Jacob's trouble as he's spoken, in which that can happen at any time. And Lord will, man, this might be the year. You have to be prepared, man. You have to be prepared for that time. So that you don't give in to the ways you're not put in a position where you're going to have to compromise your freedom in order to be able to eat or receive provisions, you know. And so I'm used to being able to live and eat and sleep out of a vehicle. And you might not have access to a vehicle. You may just have to get up and go on our feet, you know. But you have to be able to get accustomed to not having the comforts of life around you at your beckoning. Because that's what's going to lure a lot of people back in to the system once they reboot this system, you know, and try to tie Jake back in. Because Jake is so used to the comforts of life, man. Being able to get on the phone and call DoorDash and order food, or call Uber Eats, or go through a drive-thru, you know, get $1 menus and those things. Turn on the TV and, you know, go to your thermostat and turn up the heat, or turn down, or turn on the AC. Have hot water to take a shower. So those are the comforts of life. That's going to be a test to a lot of our people when shit hits the fan. We have to get used to kind of doing all those things. Learn how to take, and I know, you know, when I live in the truck, a lot of times you don't have access to a shower all the time. So you learn how to get your wet wipes or your alcohol pads, and you know, you kind of clean yourself up that way, you know. You learn how to brush your teeth, you know, and from just a bottle of water and those things, you know. You learn how to improvise, and you know, as a people from times past, man, we had to improvise, you know, so it's not like we can't do it. It's just Jake became so accustomed and lazy to the system, Jake don't want to do it. But yeah, I just want to kind of hit that, man, and you know, we have to be prepared and on the ready at all times, man, because, you know, they're always talking about an EMP attack. They're always talking about, you know, the bank or the banking system crashing, or you know, it could be insurrection, you know, let's set this thing off. It could be anything. So we at that time, man, that you're gonna have to be prepared and be ready to be on the go. And that's during that time, man, a lot of these women that are without men, they're going to find themselves easy targets, man. It's going to be easy targets out here. And that's when I always say, that's when that feminism ideology, man, is going to go out the window immediately. It's hard thinking I'm like a man and all that shit. That shit's going to be gone immediately. She's going to know then that she's a woman, because society's going to treat her as a woman. Wartime, man, the gloves come off, man. People become savagery. And a woman, they're going to use her for all type of forms of pleasure, because that's the only value that she's going to be able to bring to a man during that time. There's going to be like savages out here, man. Every man for himself. you know it don't take much, man, to for our people to get out their comfort zone, because they've been catered to for so long by the society that's been setting them up for this great fall, man. Where everything's been hand delivered to you, man. Even the homeless in this society, man, are overweight. So let that make sense, you know. The people that sleeping out on the streets, man, they tell you they don't have no problem getting food because they feed them. You know, they clothe them, you know, they give them certain things, you know. Once this shit hits the fan, man, and that supply chain gets shut down, you're gonna see the dark side come out of these people, man. You're gonna see a side of people that you never even seen before once they get to missing 2 or 3 meals. 2 or 3 days without eating. And we're not going to have to rely on carnal measures or means in order to be able to make it out of here, man. We're going to have to rely on our spiritual, man. We're going to have to be spiritually guided. I'm not saying, you know, don't prep and have a few, you know, provisions or water stocked to the side, you know. When that shit hit the fan, you can't take all that shit with you, man. You ain't gonna be able to take it all with you. And a lot of people are gonna die trying to defend it. Like the Lord said, man, in scripture, man, if he don't, he looks after his what's those small birds? So he makes sure the birds eat. He'll make you think he's not gonna look after his people, his chosen elect, man. He's gonna make sure you have food to eat, man. Same thing he did with our people when they was in the wilderness, man. He brought them manna from heaven, and manna from heaven, and those and doves, you know. So they had chicken and waffles even in the desert, man. They was just eating good and provided water. But at the same time, we have to mentally, spiritually, and physically start preparing ourselves, you know. Try to work on your physical condition, man. That's why we prepare ourselves by doing fasting, you know, doing your fast every now and then. Preparing your body, man. A lot of chicks, man, they go off food for a day or two, man. They gonna turn on the whole family. They report the whole family in, you know, for a morsel of meat or a cup of rice during that time, man. It's not gonna take much, man. It's not gonna take much. Because Jake is not used to being uncomfortable. And you got all these foreign, you know, troops that's coming over here through the border. I call them troops, man. They're not migrants, a lot of these people. He's coming from other developed nations, man, that are really our enemies. But when I say our enemies, I mean that's Babylon the Great's enemy, man. We don't know what their objective is. Everybody's not coming here looking for a better way of life. A lot of people coming over here probably because they have orders, man.